up, man? Back with y'all with another motherfucking video. We got the chop though. I think I seen one of bro. I think I seen somebody react to it one time. He kind of tell stories kind of good, but you know what I'm saying. You know, I'm fair Lord of Mr. Baller type shit. But I'm gonna give him a try on my channel. I seen this video, it popped up on my shit. I was like, shit, I might as well go react to it. It's another video too I was gonna react to too, but shit, I just said fuck it. But let me see what he talking about, man. The chapter. Artist tickled by fake email vanishes.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, what I'm talking about today is I am talking about art. The art of trickery, but also like art. See, in Virginia lived a young, aspiring artist, name of Coles, Martrey Coles, and he was good, so good in fact, that he got an invitation from a private university to come on down, you know, show us what you got, you know, bring your portfolio, maybe put on one of those exhibitions you've been hearing so much about. We'll see if you got what it takes. So, he hit the bricks. And then a couple of days later, questions would be put to that same university. Questions that would be answered with, we've never heard of Martrey Coles, we have no idea who you're talking about. So, that's the setup. Now, let's go on a journey, you and I. And by that, I just mean, you know, let's give it a go. So, to set the scene, as I am one to do, the setting is Ohio. Now, okay, it's Eastern Virginia for a change. If you were to follow some of the many estuaries of the Chesapeake River, you'd eventually arrive at Richmond, state capital and home of give me liberty or give me death. I would say give me the first one, or give me a head start. And there lived 19-year-old Martrey Coles. Martrey was the son of Maurice and Carina Coles, grew up with 3 brothers and 3 sisters in the town of Highland Springs, really a suburb of Richmond. It's home to about 16,000 people, a sparse, leafy and green town made up of houses and not much else. You got Highland Springs Elementary and High School, you got a couple of churches, and you got a Domino's Pizza. Trifecta, right there. Sadly, though, Martrey Coles' mother, Carina, she passed away in 2014 after complications from hip surgery. That would greatly affect Martrey growing up. He was very close with his mother. And in turn, it would strain the relationship he had with his father. Martrey and his dad, Maurice, were very different people. Didn't really see eye to eye in a whole lot. See, Maurice, you know, he worked in a job that required him to wear a hard hat. Whereas, you know, Martrey was a bit more of a sensitive, artistic type. Their relationship was then exacerbated when, what's her name? About a month after Carina's passing, Maurice's new girlfriend moved into the Coles family.
Damn, what?
Home. Didn't waste any time. See, after his wife's death, a woman named Denise Gay was a great source of comfort for Maurice. They had worked together, and you know, she had been a shoulder to cry on, and yada yada from there. So when Denise saw her opportunity, she was in there like swimwear, moving into a ready-made and grieving family. But over time, you know, Martrey and his new mom, Denise, you know, they actually got on pretty good. She was helpful, she was kind, and she was a maternal presence in the house. But she was just there. She was there. Denise, she had 2 daughters of her own. She had 19-year-old Latoya, who lived by herself in South Carolina, and then 9-year-old Elena. Elena, you know, like Denise was getting on pretty good with her new family. Elena, not so much. She was a bit of a troubled youth, and so now that there was a new family, well, let's put it this way, Elena wasn't too keen on sharing her mother with this whole new group of people she didn't know. She was, as I said, she was troubled to the point that once she stabbed Martrey, Yeah, she stabbed him. Now, and Martrey would keep this to himself. He wouldn't really tell his dad about it. He was just trying to keep the peace.
You gonna keep that to yourself? I would have turned her every way but loose. They would have knew something was up.
Really, after his mother died and Martrey started getting into his late teens, he was really just ready to get out. He was just ready to go. In early 2016, Martrey began dating Ashlyn Knight, and they would remain together until what happened happened. They met and bonded over art. They shared the same interests. See, Martrey, he had a passion. He loved the Eagles, he loved the Heat, but art was really the thing for him. It was something that shortly after his mother passed, and his own way of coping with it, whereas Maurice was like, Maurice got Denise, Martrey got Artrey. That was what he wanted to do, go on to study, and specifically he wanted to work in the art department on video games, which would be awesome.
That shit
Combining two of the things he was absolutely mad about.
That's his art. That motherfucker little fire. I ain't gonna count.
And that was Martrey's exit strategy. Art would be his way out of Highland Springs, his way where he would start again away from his dad, who he didn't really get on with, Denise, who was fine, and then his new sister Elena, who tried to kill him. So, best make the old Irish goodbye, and then as soon as you can, skedaddle. And then the opportunity came. Suddenly, in early 2017, Martrey got an email from Full Sail University in Florida. It's a private university in Florida, inviting him to apply. Come on down, show us what you got. Their arts course is prestigious.
By the time, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Full Sail University is in Winter Park, Central Florida, and for the arts and music, it's seemingly one of the best. Number 1 in audio-visual communications. Number 2 in masters for video game design and development. Number 3 in music production. If you were interested in art, film, music, video game design, then this would be the school to apply to. And Martrey was, and did, and he was pumped. This was finally Martrey's, his way out. Setting sail at, The one thing I don't understand is that with its name, why is its logo a plane? I'm missing the bit in the middle there. Anyways, Martrey received this electronic mail over the internet, and it went like so. Hello Martrey, my name is Sheila Crenshaw. I've been asked to help you on your journey here at Full Sail. You will enjoy the programs here. I am looking forward to seeing you here on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Someone will meet you at your hotel on Tuesday morning to welcome you here. The Homewood isn't far from the university, so don't worry, just get yourself a good breakfast and get ready to have fun. You can also email me at any time, day or night, and I will respond back. Some of you may have noticed something odd about the email. That's it verbatim, by the way, grammar and all. I didn't change anything. Martrey was asked to prepare a portfolio of his work, to make a papier-mâché mask as a little project, because apparently he is 4 years old, and basically to get all of his stuff to show off at the university so they could judge it, I guess, if he was good enough to get in. And then to be at a bus stop in mid-March.
Nothing don't sound too off to me. You know what I'm saying? He going through with his dreams and shit. College emailed him shit about the college and shit. About the art and shit. Nothing don't sound off the wall to me.
Where they would essentially pay his bus tickets, to go down from Highland Springs to Winter Park, put him up on a hotel fully comped.
Oh, it's George, am I way? Come on, man. Goddamn, no. Y'all be killing me with these ads. I know I be killing y'all with these ads, but they be killing me with these ads.
He was due to get the bus on Sunday, the 12th of March, 2017. The night before, he stayed with his sister, Michelle, at her place. Then the next morning, the Sunday, she dropped him off at his dad's place, and from there, he was to get the bus. But later on that day, Ashlyn, his girlfriend, she was texting him to no response. When he should have been on this long old bus drive down to Florida. They had planned to be, talking over the phone. I mean, they were dating, they were in constant contact. But now, nothing. So did he make the bus? Was he on his way to Full Sail? Had he made it? Or was he, he was like, I'm going there, I'm getting in, and I'm cutting ties with you losers back home. But see, that wasn't.
No, I hope not. I mean, probably ain't got no service. I say he ain't got no service. Sometimes you gonna get
like
some
Martrey
places.
at all to do something.
You ain't got no service around
So
here in
Ashton
Georgia. I
then
ain't gonna
contacted Martrey's
it ain't that
sisters
bad,
to see if they had heard from him. You know, was he all right? Was he on the bus? Was he making tracks okay? And they hadn't heard from Martrey at all either. They, you know, Michelle had dropped him off at the dad's house, and then he was supposed to go from there to the bus. But
Alright, I'm
nothing.
lost now.
So what Michelle did was she drove over to the Coles family home where she had dropped him off, and the house was empty. But then she did see Denise and Denise's daughter, now 22-year-old Latoya, coming out the back, and then Michelle was like, "Was Martrey here? I dropped him off here." They said, "No, we haven't seen him at all." They said they hadn't seen hide nor hair of him, and Michelle was worried because when she was dropping Martrey off that morning, he sounded rather, maybe a little bit upset and depressed. He had talked about his mother a lot and how much he missed her. And then when they would speak with Maurice, he hadn't seen Martrey either. You know, he had come home from work that morning. He said he didn't see him at all, and he just went to bed. So then Ashlyn, who was able to access...
He ain't see him at all. He just went to bed. Well, I tell you.
Martrey's
y'all old generation of fathers ain't worth a damn.
Email he'd been getting to try and
Swear
find
to
out
God.
what was the dealio with that whole thing. And she noticed it was sent from this email address. A Gmail address, not a Full Sail University address or a .edu address. So that was kind of scammy, fake, fraudulent. And so what they did then was
I
contact...
didn't think about that when he seen. I've been in technical college too. I did not realize that. I did not realize it said
Full
Gmail.
Sail
They did
University
not make no
contacted
fucking
their
Gmail.
recruitment department to be like, "Hey,
tripping.
have you heard, you know, we had some emails here claiming to be from you to a guy named Martrey Coles in Virginia." And they were like, "No, we have no record of ever contacting a Martrey Coles. That's not any email address we would ever use." So who had been sending those emails? And the police were of no help. Because he was an adult, he could have left of his own accord. There was no sign of foul play other than the scammy...
Who the fuck sent him email? His dad? Because his dad was like, his dad just went in his fucking bed after he didn't even try to attempt to look for him.
looking email, and his father, Maurice. His dad, Maurice, also wasn't concerned about his son missing. No, but they hadn't been getting on so great, so, you know, and days passed. Then, on the 2nd of April 2017, so 3 weeks after Martrey was last seen, when Michelle dropped him off at his home on the Sunday, the 12th, a man named Larry Anderson was walking through a park that's about 5 miles south of Highland Springs. He was on his break. He was working time, but he was on his lunch break. He was just walking through the park, enjoying a nice day. He was having a cigarette, wandering about. And then at one point, he walked past this electrical box, and beside he noticed a storage container. It caught his eye, but what made him stop dead in his tracks was he saw a sneaker sticking out of that container. Something about it felt very odd to him, so he wandered over. He opened it, and he saw a body inside, folded like an accordion. Seemed...
The dad did it, bro.
like this
The dad did
body had been dead some time.
The dad.
And I looked at 911.
I found a dead body over in the woods. I just reported it. I don't know what to do with it. I didn't smell anything or anything like that.
And you're certain it's a human?
Yes, it's a man. It looks like, I didn't stay there and look for a while, but it looked like a African-American black man.
Same thing with last video. Y'all 911 operators, y'all be slower than a motherfucker. I swear
The
to
police
God.
quickly
I'll
arrived
be
and
blowing the
upon
fuck out of you.
inspection matched it to our missing Martrey Coles. They matched it pretty quickly. He never made it to Florida. He was 10 minutes from home the entire time. There were no signs of trauma on the body, no bruises, knife wounds, gunshots, anything like that. His hands and his legs were bound.
Yeah.
Suffocation was most likely, and a toxicology report that would be done would find sleeping agents and GHB, which we've seen before in a couple of different cases, namely Stephen Port, the serial killer. They found that in his body, so he had been drugged, to the point of passing out, and then asphyxiated to death. So who would have done this? Who would have maybe been luring Martrey out with fake emails and then murdered him?
His dad.
Well, they wanted to, of course, as you can imagine,
His
immediately
dad.
inform the Coles family, who would be devastated. But something stopped them from doing that. See, an incident that was really interesting to this now murder investigation was that only a couple of days prior, on the 31st of March, police had been called to the Coles home. They had a burglary alarm. Police rocked up, and young Elena opened the door. LaToya was there too.
You alright? All good?
Elena would say it was a false alarm, but she wanted to speak to the police.
Yeah, you're not gonna run, right?
Now, 12-year-old Elena was telling the police
That's saying when they tried to stab him, they stabbed him, right?
she had seen Martrey Coles be murdered. She had witnessed him being murdered inside their home by her mother and her sister.
Man, this bitch. I didn't even think about them. I didn't even think about them.
Where did it happen? How did it happen?
What she said?
She said she saw Denise and LaToya hold him down and suffocate him to death, then put his body into this big plastic container and off they went.
So you're saying they put some type of container? Where is that container? Yeah, mine the police is against the law, so if you're making this up, you get in a lot of trouble.
So the girl that basically stabbed him helped him. Really, basically.
Are you being truthful or are you making this up because you're mad at your parents?
What, the police just asked him? I'm gonna ask her? This thing, and y'all police ain't fuck either. How you gonna ask that girl that? You think she'll be making something up like that? At this time of morning? Like, come on, bro. Y'all police should be acting kind of dumb, too.
I mean, yeah, obviously putting two and two together. Well, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to try and track this one down. But Denise had always been nice to Martrey, and LaToya lived out of state, so she barely would have known him. What if Elena was speaking the truth? Why would she? What was the motive? Why would
Oh, no, so that ain't the one that
Martrey
stabbed. Okay,
have been
that's
killed?
something.
What was her reason to do it? Denise did have a history of fraud. She had even done some time in prison for it, but nothing violent. And then, combining to that, you have Maurice, who didn't seem to be interested in this case at all. He didn't seem interested in his missing son.
Goddamn, ain't worried about a goddamn missing son. Hell, well, I swear to God, this generation dads is ass. Y'all old generation
You want to
dads,
go to Full Sail,
ass.
a school in Florida.
Full Sail, like FULL,
Yeah,
SAIL.
SAIL. It's a when he showed it to me, it's an art, a drawing type school.
Okay.
It was a college, and when I looked at the actual pamphlet that he showed me, it was like, that's not, because I have a son that's in college.
Okay.
Like, this don't seem like a regular college because you're telling me that you have to live on campus, and it just didn't sound right to me.
Okay. So you were telling it kind of like, I don't think it's legit, or
Yeah, but it was a brochure. It came in the mail. He actually had a brochure for the college. To me, it was more like if you live in that area, then maybe like a university or something, like these little get a quick degree or something like that. I took it in the mindset of something like that.
kind of like the technical schools.
Yeah, not official, not something you go away and I'm living on campus and stuff like it.
Right.
It wasn't.
Not a four-year college or even a community college situation. Okay.
The police started questioning each and every member of the Coles family without telling them they had located Martrey. They were trying to get, background information and see what they could piece together before everybody was on the defensive, knowing that, he'd been found. Because the only thing they had to go on was a 12-year-old girl's word. No motive, no evidence.
That she
Yes.
finna lie?
But after questioning Latoya,
I can see she was fucking 8. This girl 12. This girl know what the fuck she talking about. This girl know what the fuck she saying. Now, if she was a white girl, y'all would have believed it instantly. All because she black. I ain't gonna get into that.
you know, again, not informing her, they found Martrey, just asking them,
Yeah, I
oh,
know
hey,
I'm
you know,
going.
would you do a DNA test? What do you know about him? Where do you think he's gone? She left an investigation, the interview with the police, and she went right to the park where his body had been dumped to see if he had been found. She was obviously, you know, the hairs in the back of her neck were standing up. She didn't investigate too hard, she just wanted to see if there was lights flashing, which there weren't by this stage, so she felt safe. Then the police even set up a hunting camera at the spot Martrey had been found to see if his killers would maybe want to go back and have a go as they usually do. A couple of days after getting nothing but spring woods, they got this. It was Maurice Cole's car, but getting out of it was Denise. And then tracking her phone back on the 12th of March, Denise had been at the house and went to that dumping spot. So Elena had been right the entire time and was being completely honest. She had seen what she had seen, and then doing some more, you know, clackety tracing that really fake, you know, college email. It was traced to Denise's computer.
That email
she had sent that email to Martrey while he was in the next room. And then I'm guessing acting all surprised when he was like, oh wow, look at his email. Full Sail University wants me to apply. So Denise set him up, then drugged him, then her and her daughter killed him. But why? Denise and Maurice got on together after his wife died. She was the one...
What did fucking dad at through this whole thing? What did dad at?
There, a shoulder to cry on. That was a calculated move. She saw her spot and she jumped. At the time, Maurice was grateful. But now his grief was over, and so too were his feelings for Denise. She did not want that to happen, so she wanted all traces of his old wife gone, including Martrey, who was close to her. Denise had begun to hate Martrey, who was a living, breathing piece of his
love
mother.
ain't that deep. She should have just fucking left.
She wanted that erased. It was pure hatred that led Denise to murder him. Latoya, I can only assume, wanted to help her mother.
We know what happened. And you know that we found them. We know that. So we want you to tell us.
Bitch, you lying.
You're saying that you know what happened.
We do. You killed him in your house. The last time you saw him, he was in a storage bin. Yeah, it is.
Martrey Cole's body was found last week, weeks after he went missing. Henrico police confirmed Cole's death Tuesday as Denise Gay was booked and charged with his murder. Court paperwork also shows Latoya Gay as a co-defendant, and they're awaiting extradition from South Carolina.
Both Denise and Latoya were charged with murder and conspiracy to commit murder. There would end up being 2 trials. In the first, they got the conspiracy conviction. On the murder, jury deadlocked. But in round 2, Maurice would testify after he found texts between Denise and Latoya planning the murder. In May 2018, Denise Gay was sentenced to life in prison. Latoya Gay was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
She's there alive too.
And so it's a story of the artist who was pretty cruelly tricked by evil, I guess. I mean, you know, we have stories, we always have murder reasons of greed, life insurance, you know, love triangles, which comes up again, sexual nature, whatever. This was just pure hatred for Martrey, poor old Martrey, who never did anything and just wanted to get away from it all.
Shit.
And, you know, was tricked into thinking he had, but it was just a plot to get rid of him, you know, permanently. Denise's hatred for a reminder of what she could never be led her and her daughter to, well, I mean, their lives are kind of ruined, so. He thought he was going to set sail to Full Sail, but instead, tragically,
What dad?
that'll never happen.
What dad?
But now, I guess
What about
on
Dad?
the flip side, I mean, Denise and Latoya have a lot of time to brush up on their art skills. I can't imagine that's any comfort to them, though. They don't have much else to be doing for the next 20 years. I forgot my watch.
That chopper, man, I fuck with you, man. I fuck with you, man. You certified. Most definitely from the start reacting to him more. Oh, that being said, what time it is? You gotta go get ready for work. That being said, man, give me your thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, see how motherfuckers on that video. I don't know when the video gonna be at. I just did this shit for work, so probably gonna be. It probably gonna be. I ain't gonna lie. It probably gonna be when I get off work. So y'all be looking for. It's gonna be a late night reaction. So video probably gonna drop about one tonight. I'm finna post it in a minute. Make sure I ain't lying. I ain't lying. You feel me? 450. I know my phone a little dirty, but it's 450. 450 type of shit. So. You know what I'm saying? That being said, give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, see how motherfuckers on that video. Let's ride, nigga.